All right. I think we are live. We're doing a special live stream today. Well, actually, I'm just doing a special live stream on Aya's channel. I'm a kind of a guest. It's about Ghosts of Inktober Past. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share the video so people can see that we are now live. I'm going to go ahead and copy the link. Let's see. So I can get the right link on the Facebook land. I'm going to start playing the video while...
And apparently in the coming year, the fashion color of the day is red. And since I was looking for something with a coat in it, I found this picture of a Chinese woman dressed only in a red coat and some running shoes as she runs along a path at Red Beach, which is apparently a place in China. So, being that I'm a linguist and I think about words more than I think about colors most of the time, I started, the words red and the word coat kept going through my mind as I was trying to draw this. And so it turned into my head into a kind of slogan. The red coats are coming, but this time it doesn't mean the British are coming. It doesn't even mean the Chinese Reds are coming. It just means coats in the color red are now fashionable. And so we're probably going to be seeing a lot of ladies wearing red coats. Red actually happens to be one of my favorite colors. It is my favorite color. Okay. It's hard for me to admit that because when I was 3 years old, it was easy to say my favorite color is red. But then later on, people said, oh, how childish. Why do you like such a bright color? And of course, red is the color of blood. It's the color of most fruit when it is ripe, because when fruit tempts us to eat it, it is almost trying to look like meat, I think. So anyway, red is a very attractive color. It's the color of anger. It's the color of hatred, but it's also the color of food. Things that we like to eat are red. And for this reason, I think it's also a very sexy color. So this woman jogging along, seems strange to me to have a coat on and no pants. But you know how the fashion magazines are. My artistic challenge here was twofold. Number one, I have trouble with action, so it would have been much easier for me to do a static portrait of a woman in a red coat. But to actually portray one jogging is a little bit harder for me. And the other thing is highlighting. I mean, this coat has many folds, and I can't blend the colors. So I had to use orange as sort of an undertone and have the orange stick out in those places where I wanted highlights. So it's not a perfect portrait, it's not a perfect design, but there you have it. A woman in a red coat running. If you like it, click like and follow me on Instagram, and I will see you tomorrow with a different illustration.
Okay, so that was just I was trying to save it, and then I'm gonna fix what I saved. Let's see. Yeah, it worked this time. Okay. I just want to delete the other post because since I'm doing this all by myself, I have to make sure it looks right. I don't want it to look silly sauce, you know? So anyway, I'm sharing some old videos that Aya had posted during Inktober because this is her art channel. I also do an art channel and sometimes we do live streams together. So today she invited me to come on her channel because I said it might be fun to like, you know, just like be a guest on her channel when she's not here. Like we're trying something different. Like, you know, we always kind of try to mix it up and keep you guys interested. So I want to share another video from Inktober past. All of these art projects I had created kind of have, I would say, a Halloween theme to them in a way. Maybe not that she was planning it, but it just kind of worked.
Inktober, day 28, ride. So today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm looking at a picture, a black and white picture of my mother when she was a child, and she's there with her brother, and she has her bicycle with her, and she's very proud of her bicycle. The truth is, I'm not good at drawing bicycles or anything mechanical because I just don't have a knack for it. So my focus in this drawing is on the two people, and you can sort of imagine that there's a bicycle there in the way that they're standing. My uncle was about 7 years younger than my mother, and he died in the Six-Day War. I have other videos about him. He was an artist, and he was also very much into agriculture, and they had a happy childhood together, and they didn't have a lot of things, so this bicycle represented something big in their lives, and they were very happy with it. Now, about some of my issues in this drawing. When I draw people who actually exist and I know those people, I do make more of an effort for accuracy in the portrayal, but this sometimes kind of puts limitations on what I can do. In fact, my portraits are really caricatures, and that means that certain characteristics of the person that let us know that this is this person and not somebody else are exaggerated so that you can recognize the person. For me, what this means is that I have the tendency to exaggerate my mother's chin. Now, my mother does not have an overly large chin. The problem is I have a very weak chin. So to my way of thinking, when I look at my mother, one of the things that I see is, oh, she doesn't have a weak chin. And this somehow, from my perspective, makes me always exaggerate the chin. So a lot of times my mother's criticism of my art has to do with the chin length. However, when I try to reduce the chin length, without reducing everything else, as you know, this will actually make it look less like the person. Because if there's any kind of distortion and you want to reduce the distortion, you have to reduce it everywhere. Otherwise, whatever similarity was there to begin with is erased. So as you see me struggling with recognizing my mother and knowing at the same time, wow, that chin is way too big and it's not flattering, I struggle to somehow keep the resemblance to my mother while reducing the chin length. And oh, by the way, sometimes the camera slips and you can't see what I'm doing, but you can see the book that my camera is propped on. It's memoirs of James Wilkinson. James Wilkinson was a traitor, a real traitor. And he was plotting against the United States and against Aaron Burr. and he published his memoirs to exonerate himself. When I was writing Theodosia and the Pirates, I purchased his memoirs because I wanted to see what he had to say, although it wasn't particularly illuminating. So what you may have noticed here is I tried to reduce the length of my mother's chin. In the process, it looks a little bit less like my mother, but it does look a little bit more like a normal person. and this is this struggle, of a person who is really a caricaturist at heart, to try for some verisimilitude at the same time as maintaining the character of the person, because I'm much more interested when I'm drawing a person in their character than I am in their exact appearance. So anyway, I ran out of time. This is all I was able to accomplish today, but I hope you like it. And if you do, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you tomorrow with another drawing.
I just wanted to say, I think that was a really good drawing, and Aya's really come a long way in all of her portraits. This was like in the very beginning of her channel. I think that was really cool. So I'm going to share the next one. It's about Hannibal.
Inktober, day 29, injured. So my subject today is Hannibal Barca. He was born in Carthage. He died in Bithynia. He was 65 years old when he took his own life rather than be captured. And I am looking at a marble bust of him found in the city of Capua. So Hannibal is said to have lost his eye, his right eye, due to an infection that he suffered while he was in Italy. He spent a lot of time in Italy trying to liberate the Italians from Rome. One of the misconceptions about Hannibal was that he was trying to conquer Rome, but what he was really trying to do was to give the Roman vassals a chance to be free again. Because you see, there was a time when Rome was just a city-state, and there were many other city-states in Italy. As a Phoenician, Hannibal believed in localism. He believed in people's right to choose for themselves what they did. He outlived Carthage, which is really quite amazing. And I think he really did look like this, more or less. I know this is kind of a sloppy portrait based on a statue, a bust. And some people think that just because he was born in Africa, he should be black, but that's not how it works. He was a Phoenician. Phoenicians are Middle Eastern Levantine people, but they really look no less white than the average Middle Eastern person. Other people think that Hannibal must have been very muscular, much more robust looking than this. This depiction of Hannibal, it shows him rather lean and more intellectual than anything else. But that's really what he was. I mean, he was a great military strategist, but nobody said that he single-handedly won his battles. He used strategy, and that means that he had a very well-developed mind, not necessarily a stronger body than anybody else. So I stand by this depiction of Hannibal. And if you liked it, follow me on Instagram and give it a like. And I'll see you tomorrow with another picture.
I was also thinking if you wanted to do like a Halloween costume that was not something everybody usually does, maybe you could dress up like Hannibal. I don't know. Look at Aya's video. Like it's also on our channel as well. Like, but or you can go back here and watch it, or you can Google pictures of Hannibal, and he was pretty cool. Like he stood for localism. I would say Nassim Taleb definitely aspires to that. Like he has a lot of respect for those ideals, you know, free market, localism, what the Phoenicians were about. It really warms my heart. Anyway, let's look at the next video.
Catch, I decided to draw Bo when he was 3 years old, and he saw his cousin, my nephew, and wanted to give him a hug and a kiss. This was very, very typical of Bo. He was very, very affectionate, very, very outgoing, and my nephew was not as receptive to this hugging and kissing as Bo would have expected. So my nephew was about 2 years old at the time, and Bo was 3. And you can see that Bo is more mature, but my nephew is bigger and taller. And so it's kind of a funny situation where when you see how much bigger my nephew is, you would think, well, if he didn't want to be kissed or hugged, he could have pushed Bo away. But in fact, Bo was stronger and more agile. So when Bo got it into his head that he wanted to give my nephew a big hug, my nephew didn't know what to do about it, but he wasn't very happy about it. In this sketch, I think, again, I'm caricaturing both of them in the sense that I'm making their heads quite a bit bigger than their bodies. And of course, they are both children, you know, they're not adults. So there is a sort of difference in the ratio of the head size to the body size in a child that changes over time. And I think what I did was I just exaggerated that a little bit. As you can see, I'm trying to color a little bit better, and the only way I can seem to do that is if I lay the paper flat on the surface that I'm drawing on, because while the markers will work for me when the paper is upright, the gel pens do not work unless I use gravity to make the ink come out. And so what I was trying to do here, this is not a terrific job of coloring either, but I was trying to establish different values for the highlighted portion of the cloth that they're wearing, or rather both of them are wearing. You can see that they are both fully clothed. At that time in his life, Bo was always very snazzily dressed. And both of them have sort of blue pants on, but my nephew has a red shirt and Bo has a blue shirt. Coloring, as I said, is not the easiest thing for me. It's the one area in which I really could use a lot of help. But anyway, there's your finished product, and you can follow me on Instagram.
I actually thought that was really cool, and it also kind of gives you an example of how, like, I think some people think Inktober is just like certain types of ink, but pretty much any kind of marker is ink. So, you know, that drawing gives you maybe some ideas if you just want to experiment with Inktober a little bit. And here's another video that Aya created for Inktober back in 2019, because this is like the ghosts of Inktober past. Anyway, let's watch it.
It's the last day of Inktober. Our prompt is ripe. And today just happens to be Halloween. So I decided to look at an ad in a very old magazine. And what I'm sketching here is kind of a pinup girl. She's dressed in red, which is my favorite color. And she is dressed a little bit like a devil. She's got horns, and I haven't drawn the horns yet here, but pretty soon you will see them. And she is trying to tempt the viewer with the product that is being advertised. So, as our prompt is ripe, I decided it would be a ripe apple instead.
I like how they do prompts. I forgot they did that because I didn't do Inktober, but
There you've got her horns. And I'm starting to use the gel pens a little bit more. I'm finding that if you push really hard, you can even get some color out when the paper is upright. Although when I really want to do it strongly, I have to put down the paper so I can apply more force. This is kind of a botched version of the pinup girl. I don't really like the way her legs came out, so in the end I decided to just submit the upper body. But she does have that expression. I like the expression on her face. And so she's kind of a bemused temptress, offering the ripe apple to anyone who wants to take it. It's kind of funny, the advertisement, the copy on it said, "Are you frigid?" And it had this she-devil temptress on it. But I think that her face looks like somebody from the 30s. That's what I think. And I kind of like the face that I gave her. So this is the last of my Inktober drawings. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed participating and seeing everybody else's drawings. And perhaps I'll see you again next time for Inktober. Meanwhile, have a happy Halloween. Don't let anybody tempt you to take anything you don't want to take, and enjoy your ripe apples. And if you like this drawing, then you can click like, you can subscribe, and you can even follow me on Instagram.
Okay, so that was our look back at Inktober from Aya Katz, and I had forgotten how fun those videos were. And if you actually want to see the videos, I believe she had posted them on her main channel back then because she hadn't really started this art channel. So it's pretty cool because these videos were like in the beginning when she was starting her art channel. I think maybe she had a few videos on there, but you can definitely find her Inktober videos, I believe, on the Aya Katz main channel. Some of them might be on this channel too. I could be wrong. Maybe they're on this channel too. I'll have to go back and look. But anyway, Aya she'll let us know later. So anyway, another thing that I thought we could do is maybe we can draw for a few minutes because I have a drawing that I haven't really worked on that much. But I'm going to pull up the reference photograph for it. Let's see if I can find it in all of my files. Okay, I'm going to bring Inktober back so I can see us. This is the good thing about having a large screen. I can see both at the same time. So, okay, I want to kind of angle it down so you can see maybe what I'm drawing for a few minutes. I don't think the resolution is going to be all that great, but I will try my best. I don't know how long I'm going to draw for. Let's see. What I was working on actually, the part I was working on was like her necklace, I think. It's actually a picture of me, but like I'm just pretending like it's somebody else, just, you know. And I kind of like, I thought I was going to make the bauble. But I kind of just want to make the necklace, really. So by the way, I have my hair in like an accent braid today, which like I pulled them back, but I noticed something. Like I've been noticing, I guess like people, it's trendy now to wear accent braids again. I didn't even know that was a trendy thing at the moment. Speaking of localism, has anybody been following what's happening in Iran with the women protesting? Like they want to be able not to wear the hijab, but I think this is a very interesting kind of news story. Nobody's really talking about it right now because their internet got cut off, but people are still posting things. But it's like since the state government like blocked their internet, you're not hearing much about it in the main news. And really the only place that they're able to post about it is like on TikTok or Instagram and maybe YouTube a little bit, but they have to use VPNs and they have to really but I was just thinking that's another great example of localism, just letting local people make the decisions for their own life, because some people think, oh yeah, certain like government might speak for the whole people, but they usually don't. And I think that's true for every country, right? So I think maybe if you want to support localism, you could dress up as Hannibal for Halloween. I mean, if we just let people make their own decisions and live their own lives, I think the world would be a better place, you know? That's what I think. But it's just really sad because you're not hearing about this on the news right now, but there's children, like young girls that are being shot. And in our own country, when somebody was brutally killed by the police, you heard so much about it. But I guess the thing that really bothers me about it is we're just not hearing about it. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that was just one news story that I thought was kind of interesting. It's sad though, but interesting. And I think it brings up a great discussion about like, do we want the state to tell people how to dress or like how to conduct their business? Like, there's just a lot of really good discussions in that, you know. Anyway, is anybody participating in Inktober? I'm curious because I'm not doing Inktober. I'm just drawing. I haven't been drawing that much for a while, actually. Trying to get back into it. So when Aya said I could be a guest today on her channel, like we're exploring this new interesting way of doing it, I was kind of excited. I thought, hey, This could be fun. Oh, that's a very top heavy bead. Although if you look at this necklace, it's the shell necklace. I was gonna put the heart, not the heart, the rose that went with it, but I've mislocated the rose. So I made this necklace myself, and in the portrait, I just want her to wear it. But I just love how there's shells and rocks in this necklace, but it's kind of an asymmetrical necklace. Just fun. It's so quiet in our little city, except I can hear one thing. I'm hearing the train horn again. I swear that thing is so loud. Like it just used to be so quiet. And then people were complaining about the train. They're like, the train is too loud. It's waking us up at 5:30 in the morning. Actually, it started at 4. I don't want to tell anybody that, but I heard it at 4 in the morning going by. And that thing blares its horn. And I'm like, I love trains, by the way. I think trains are really cool, but it is a little loud. I'm like, you're a loud little train. And I don't understand why the little arrow train, there's this little arrow train, and they're all so testing the Metrolink. But why is it that the big Metrolink train has a quieter horn than the smaller arrow train? And I always think about that. I'm like, I think the horn's excessively loud on that little arrow train. It's just kind of like it's become this joke. So then they kind of quieted the train down. But I think it depends on who's like driving the train or operating the train, because sometimes the horn is louder than other times. But I think they were getting a little overzealous on the horn. I think they were just having fun, like blowing the horn or something. I mean, I get it. You need to warn people at intersections, but I think this is just my thought about the train and its horn. If there's a railroad crossing and the lights are flashing and the barrier is going down, even if you can't hear that well, I think you would know there's a train crossing. I think most people would. So at that point, I just don't think we need, I don't know. So anyway, that's like the one new thing that's been happening is there's been this big debate about the train horn in our town. I kind of want her necklace to look more. I guess that looks like a cylinder. It could look like a cylinder, like cylinderish shell. There's another one. That's a roundish shape to it. Make the bead go that way. So she's wearing like another, I guess I just call them connector beads. I have a better terminology for them. It's a kind of bead. It's like a shell. It's flat, but I mean, it seems more like a rock than a shell. But these were not exactly high-end beads. Like I get kind of detail oriented when I'm drawing parts of the necklace. I get real obsessed. I'm like, I kind of want the detail there, even if it's going to be different in the final product. But yeah. Let's see what else. Okay, and then we'll do another connector bead. This is just kind of going around. And I really did love this necklace, by the way. Like when I'm drawing, sometimes I like to be tactile with something. And that's why sometimes it is, I guess it's better to have like a reference you can look at. So even though I'm wearing the necklace in the picture, it makes it just easier for me to see what I'm drawing. Maybe I can show you, let's see, the picture that I'm drawing. So let's see if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll show you. Let's see if I can find it. Just so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm drawing. Not want to show me. Let me show it for some reason. It's so weird. I don't know. It's in a different file area, I guess. So I wanted to share it, but I guess you can kind of see, well, very barely, really, but you can kind of see it a little. And then, okay, so I did that bead, and now I kind of have like a squarish rock bead. Nectar bead, and then the hair is like right here. So that's where the hair is. Let's see. And I had this part underneath the arm, like I was trying to, I guess, finagle. I don't think it's quite right yet. Okay, that's probably enough for now. But anyway, I had fun drawing with you for a little bit and sharing some videos that Aya had created for Inktober. Anyway, thanks for watching.